Plants, animals, and microorganisms carry genetic material that could be useful for humankind. They provide a crucial source of information to understand the natural world and the raw material to develop a wide range of products, such as medicine, food and beverages, and cosmetics. However, genetic resources are not evenly distributed and are especially abundant in tropical and developing countries. Research institutes and biotechnology industries explore the natural world to develop new products or improve biodiversity conservation. These researches are often based on the traditional knowledge held by indigenous peoples who for centuries have managed and used genetic resources for their livelihood. To regulate the use of genetic resources and protect the rights of indigenous people, the Access and Benefit Sharing Principles were established at the Rio Earth Summit in 1992 within the Convention on Biological Diversity, and then extended with the Nagoya Protocol in 2010. ABS refers to how genetic resources are accessed and how the benefits arising from their use are shared between people or countries using the resources, users, and the people or countries that provide those resources, providers. This also applies to the traditional knowledge associated with genetic resources. ABS is based on the prior informed consent, the PIC, and the mutually agreed terms, the MAT. The prior informed consent is the permission given by a provider country to an interested user before the beginning of its research on genetic resources. Users should specify the nature and the intended objectives of the research. The mutually agreed terms define, in a benefit-sharing agreement between user and provider, the conditions for the use of the resources and the benefits to be shared between both parties. Benefits could be monetary, such as royalties, milestone payments, or licensing fees, or otherwise could be non-monetary, involving technology transfer, sharing of research results, or supporting the development of local conservation programs. The implementation of the ABS principles ensures that countries with rich biodiversity enjoy the benefits arising from the use of their genetic resources. It combines the goal of preserving biodiversity in a sustainable way with the poverty alleviation and sustainable development strategies. Mozambique, one of the most scenic countries in southern Africa, is an extraordinary biodiversity hotspot. Its biodiversity richness emerges from the high ecosystem diversity. It hosts thousands of marine and terrestrial animal species and around 6,000 different plants, 800 of which can only be found here. The country's genetic resources already play an important role in the livelihood of most of its citizens and could become a tool to develop a stable, diversified, and sustainable economy. The main opportunity is offered by plant, with around 60% of Mozambican territory covered by forest. Plants are an extraordinary resource for the population, representing a major source of food products, timber, construction equipment, power supply and medicines, with more than 70% of the population relying on medicinal plants for their healthcare. Through the traditional knowledge handed down through generations, Mozambique's indigenous and rural communities know properties, secret uses, and best strategies of preservation for their plant resources, and are custodians of an invaluable cultural heritage.
A necessidade da comunidade local para com as plantas é total e ela é subdividida em material de construção, lenha, às vezes carvão para venda e também o uso como plantas medicinais, para além de usar algumas como frutos silvestres. As doenças mais frequentes que são tratadas com plantas tradicionais ou medicinais são doenças normalmente de caráter infantil, para crianças, como seja diarreias, dor de estômago, tratamento de feridas, de queimaduras, infertilidade feminina, fertilidade masculina. São vários medicamentos que sabemos por prática comum, porque convivemos com as comunidades. A questão do conhecimento e do uso de plantas medicinais é uma questão cultural histórica. É uma questão antropogênica que é passada de geração a geração. Pelas 17 comunidades que a reserva tem, para além das lideranças, os membros representados por alguns deles, para além dos membros no geral, sabem que têm direitos de usar os recursos e sabem que têm direito a benefícios também pelo uso de recursos, tanto pelo Estado assim como por privados.
As plantas são todas elas usadas por toda a comunidade, mas quem mais conhece a matéria é o curandeiro. Por exemplo, eu não sou curandeiro, mas eu uso as plantas. Eu aprendi a usar as plantas porque através da influência que eu tinha com algum curandeiro vizinho. Então, sempre que ele tratasse os doentes, eu com aquela curiosidade sempre aproximava e aprendi assim mesmo. Assim fui ganhando experiência, Eu fui conhecendo a maior parte das plantas e as suas utilizações. É assim como eu aprendi.
Muitas plantas são usadas na medicina tradicional. Nós usamos raízes, frutos e folhas, muitas vezes misturando plantas diferentes, dependendo do que o paciente sente. Cada planta tem propriedades diferentes, um uso diferente. Outras são comestíveis. Nós as usamos para preparar pratos como papa ou comemos seus frutos que são muito nutritivos. Algumas plantas também são usadas para preparar bebidas caseiras. Elas são realmente um recurso precioso.
The indigenous communities of Mozambique are custodians of traditional knowledge related to the use of plants. The ethnobotanical research conducted by SECOSUD II has led to the identification of more than 100 plants with a wide range of medicinal, food, and personal care uses. The Italian Agency for Development Cooperation will continue its work to sustain access and benefit-sharing initiatives in the country to guarantee the right of Mozambican population to the benefits arising from their genetic resources.